Good evening, Texas Labor. It is so good to have you all in this hall tonight, and apparently happy Rick Levy Day. So that's good. Leonard, thanks for letting us know about it at 6 p.m. And for all the labor folks who bargain contracts, we got a new holiday to add to the list, okay? So let's mark it down, February 21st. We are adding it to the holiday list. Well, there is only one person who can get us all together outside of our district on the only early voting Saturday during voting, and that person is Rick Levy. So it's good to see that people have, right? Why else would we be here? It's good to see that folks have taken off their campaign shirts and have put on their dancing shoes. In Rick's case, a fresh pair of New Balances for later on tonight. All right, so, you know, when the news broke that Rick Levy was retiring, I kept thinking, when was my first time that I ever met Rick? And honestly, I could not remember, because it just seems like Rick has always been a part of our labor movement. He's just always been there. However, as I kept thinking, I remembered the first time I had a one-on-one with Rick. It was the year of 2015. Politics were different, and the room was not as big as this. It was actually my first Texas AFL event working with the Service Employees International Union in Texas. I was young and bright-eyed. I didn't know how to call people my siblings or my brothers and sisters in the union. Yet, I was in this room with a group of new leaders, like Leonard over here, and some folks who had been a little more seasoned. And in that room, we were grappling with issues. What are the issues that are important to our members? Where does union take a stance? Where do we sit back? Do we ever sit back? And it was in that room that I saw how Rick was saying, hey guys, I'm leading this, but I am not the only one. I think that was the day I became a co-pilot in what is now the Texas AFL labor movement. It was at that meeting afterwards, if you are a union person, you know there may have been some beers passed around. We're in the middle of hill country. I still to this day don't know exactly where we were. There may have been a fire, but it was a great group of folks just talking. Now, earlier in the day, we had had some serious conversations, and Rick asked us prior to this meeting to bring something that was of value to us. Why do we do the work we do? And that is when I brought in my great-grandmother's poll tax receipt. It was from 1964. A little bit about my great-grandmother: she worked in homes, she cooked in homes in 4th Ward, Houston, Texas. She worked for families in River Oaks. She had a 3rd-grade education. I always tell people if she was born in a different generation, she probably would have been a city council member or even a political director. But this poll tax receipt was so very important to me, and it's still the reason why I do this work. And Rick came over to me and he started asking me questions about that receipt. And I said, wow, this man really wants to know about my great-grandmother and the work that she did. He read the receipt in such detail that I didn't even realize some of the facts on it. And that was the moment where I saw how intentional Rick was as a leader. Rick is not here just to go forward, he's here so that we can go together. And once again, it was that evening where I felt like I became a co-pilot in the Texas AFL movement. Now, as the years went on, I remembered that room and some of the issues that we addressed. We talked about women's reproductive rights. We talked about immigration. We talked about racial justice. And after that meeting, I saw Rick lead continually and be bold on those issues. But he was never bold alone. He would always call us up and say, hey, what do you think about this? What should we do? Once again, making us a co-pilot in the Texas AFL movement. You know, Rick, I remember when you called and you said, we're gonna take this show on the road, we're gonna make something out of the Texas Fair Shot Pack. And I remember you said, if Alaska can get money, I mean, y'all really, if Alaska can get money, why can't the state of Texas get money to do political work? And Rick said, listen, we're gonna come up with the plan, but we need your input. When I looked at the plan, I not only saw our vision, I saw my vision as well for the Texas labor movement. So Rick, I just wanna say thank you so much for busting the door wide open so folks like me and younger leaders can come in and feel like they are not just a part of the labor movement, but they are a co-pilot in the movement. So thank you for doing that. Rick, you created a space for new people to the movement to feel seen and to feel heard. And now it is up to us to continue the fight. So I'm gonna edit what you usually say and not say the word in between, but let's go. All right, thank you so much.